Welcome to Black Businesses Matter, a podcast about why Black businesses matter and the benefits of collaborating and advocating for Black businesses to drive impact. Each episode will cover legacy, hope, Black joy, funding sources, cultural shifts, equality, and so much more. We will provide inspiration and action while spreading some joy to a thriving community of Black business owners and leading thought leaders.
I am Larvetta Loftin, your host and the founder of the L3 agency.
Known as the brand maven who transforms organizations with her storytelling prowess, meet Larvetta L. Loftin, host of Black Businesses Matter, a podcast about why Black businesses matter and the benefits of collaborating and advocating for Black businesses to drive impact.
Welcome back, guys. Did you all know this month is Women's History Month? It's probably one of my many favorites, because I can't say that this is my favorite, but it is one of my many favorites, and I'm learning how to share that as a woman and as a woman entrepreneur who I believe is working to make history. And so I'm excited. So women, if you are listening to the podcast, happy Women's History Month to you, sis. We see you. We see you doing great things. So I just want to say this. If anybody hasn't said this to you, I am proud of you, woman. Okay. Because I think oftentimes as women, we are, whether we are, caring for kids, caring for parents, caring for animals, you name it. And also carrying, and working and doing all the things that we do as women. We probably don't hear that word, proud of you, sis, proud of you. So I just want to open up and say that I am proud of you. I'm grateful that we are part of a community of women that are trailblazing, that are taking charge in this space. We got a lot to talk about. It's just me today. When I don't have a guest, they say it's my monologue moment. So I guess it is my monologue moment. But it's 2025. So much is happening in the world. And so I do want to just really take a breath, take a pause in where we are in this political world. I don't know. I think we all are waking up with some level of fatigue with what is happening as female leaders, the things that, are hitting our footsteps, our emails, etc. I do challenge us to be able to really unite and collaborate. I think it's time out for this independent life. I think it's more about being more interdependent and supporting one another more and more. I really do. I think this idea of I got this, or, I think we all need community now more than ever. And it's really time to me. I think it's a time out to be able to be more intentional with picking up the phone, calling your friends that are out here doing some amazing work, sending them a text, maybe even sending them a card in the mail and just say that you see them. I think it could go really farther than what we think. I think we love social media, right? And I was listening to a podcast because that is what I do as a podcast host. I listen to a lot of other podcasts, and it really just talks about how, with what's happening with the boycotts and things that are occurring, it's really time for human connection, right? It's sitting down with a friend, going to coffee, taking a walk, doing something that you probably have never done. That's a DIY project that allows for you to maybe bring in girlfriends or bring in your sisters, whatever that may be, and explore. Like, one of the things that I have been intentional with is adding adventure, like that doesn't have anything to do with work or me wanting to bring business to the space, that I get to just be Larvetta sometimes that's not the boss or the entrepreneur or business owner. And I think it's important for mental health. I think it's important to build community. And so that's one of the things that I'm doing as an entrepreneur. So I wonder what you're doing. Love to hear what you're doing this Women's History Month in supporting who you are. So love to hear that. Because I think that it's important. Like, I have been going to the neighborhood. We have a new bookstore in Chicago called Book Joint. And it's on, for those that are in Chicago, it's on Stony Island 71st. It's so cool. It's a good Zen, I call it easy like Sunday morning or Saturday morning. And you can go in there and just kind of zen out and, catch a book. You can take your children there. You can take your mom, your dad. I think it's just a cool spot that we all need to build on community. So I'm just, shouting them out because I went last Sunday to pick up a gift and for a friend of mine who was having a baby. And I really enjoyed just walking in there and enjoying that moment. So I certainly think that's things that we have to do to really help us in this climate that we are in. I want to just tell you what has been one of the most rewarding parts of my journey as a woman entrepreneur is that I get to hire other women, and that's what I love. And we get to have a safe space. I will tell you, I had a meeting this morning with a potential client that we've been really working to secure. And it was, a woman, there were two women, and we really just, had a moment to ask ourselves, what is, she was asking me how I was doing. And I was sharing with her, that I had just bought a plant, the Montessori plant, Montesi, I can't remember, but it's a beautiful plant. And this morning, coming off of we did a live podcast taping yesterday in honor of Black History Month, which went really well. So you're going to hear more details on when we do it again. And we had Mark Brooks, so you guys will be on the lookout for that. I know it's Women's History Month, but we certainly enjoyed that live taping yesterday. So, getting up this morning, taking a breath and going to the coffee shop and getting this plant, she had asked me, I was like, I'm okay, because I, was able to go to the gym and get a quick, walk in this morning, just because it really does level set and just settles my mind in these very troubled times. And the plant, and I shared with her that made me happy. And everyone on the call, we really just shared our joy for today. And it felt nice. So that's the beauty of being women leaders. And, as me being an entrepreneur, that we have safe spaces to be women that, that I don't think that men will all understand, because I truly believe that God designed women to be able to have different, to have the organs that we have that is nurturing. And so we automatically are nurturers. And so when we get to nurture each other in that space, I do think it's beautiful. I do think that there are challenges. I face some challenges as a woman leader, because in some places, and I'm about to be real raw, what I'm about to say, so bear with me. But I think a lot of our trauma comes from another, as a Black woman, can be from another Black woman. And I don't think we talk enough about that, whether that is a peer-to-peer or someone who is, in some regards, older, wiser than you. And sometimes there is bullying that occurs in that environment. And I've experienced it. And quite frankly, I don't allow it to happen in my agency. because I think that's the beauty of being a woman entrepreneur, is that we can come together and be authentic. At least that's a space that I've created. But I do find challenges when I have, and it's not all the time. So let me be clear. It's not all the time, but sometimes I'm faced with women on the other side who are decision makers who, won't pull my coattail and say, hey, sis, or, hey, we got your proposal, it could be a misspelled word, or you should go higher. Just being able to share that bit of information. And I don't think we do that enough. I think there are business owners that really could use that so that they can improve and be better. I know for me, if I was submitting a proposal and there were errors and there was something, I would warrant an opportunity to be able to hear from that leader or that decision maker or that check writer that you need to work on this and maybe we'll consider you again or something like that. I really think as women, if you are leaders, if you are serving in that role, and you are bringing another woman-owned business, and be kind, be thoughtful, be generous to that business owner, because oftentimes as women, we're not paid the same rate. So we are typically behind in that. We are not always valued for the work that we do because the world still sees us as task rabbits. No pun intended, because there is a company called TaskRabbit. And so I really think that that's one of my challenge. I really am faced with that when there are women. Doesn't happen all the time because I really have some amazing women partners that I collaborate in business, that we do amazing work together, that builds on community impact, and I love them. Like, I absolutely adore them and admire them and respect them. So I'm grateful for the tribe of partners that we all work together. They, L3 is their partner in the work that we do. And we have several of them that are females, and I appreciate that part. But sometimes when I have my, Black woman on the other side and it's me, it can be a competition. And I don't understand that. I don't, because if in the idea of the way that we say, we're going to make you look good, that's our primary role. And just because we don't do a good job is not a reflection of you. I think we take on that if this person, or if I accept this person, that they're going to, your counterparts and your, team is going to look at you. And I get that. But we have to also educate communities that, hey, you did, champion for them, and we all don't do a great job. We all don't, we have bad days, but I think we have to give each other grace. Even when we go into these establishments and it's women owned, and we have to be open to feedback. So that's my challenge, is that I'm open to feedback, and I really would love for people to give us feedback. We ask for it a lot, but we don't get it. So I would love that. So let's talk about this DEI. So I'm going to just be real honest with you. As a marketing and communications firm, we didn't ride on this wave, because as someone who works in marketing, I don't jump on trends. I'm a trendsetter. So I want to make sure everyone understands I don't jump on trends. We don't. We change narratives. We are trendsetters. We are storytellers. We are brand builders. We don't jump on trends. That's not what we do. And I really don't believe that's ultimately what a lot of Black entrepreneurs do. But we have to realize that those that jump on that, and now here we are, what does that mean in this marketing industry? What I see it means is, I don't think we have to announce that we are a certain color. I don't think we have to announce. I think we have to deliver on excellence. We have to deliver on quality, and using that to be able to go after projects and proposals, whether it's, private or public sectors. It's important that we look at that. So when I think of the word diversity, equity, inclusion, do I believe that we still have to bring diversity in thought? Absolutely. Do I think that we still have to advocate for equity in all of these spaces where there isn't? Absolutely. And do I think that there's still economic inclusion for all people? Absolutely. So I will still stand on that. What I will stand on as we build from a marketing industry is really asking yourself, and this is us, is what I'm doing purpose driven? Is it mission centric? That's who we are. And I think we lead with that. That's what we do here at the L3 agency, is that we don't, I worked in multicultural spaces for most of my career as a entrepreneur, and multicultural is, right, multiple cultures. So I think culture still matters. That's not going away. And so I think that people need to look at culture, purpose, being impactful, and being able to leave a imminent experience for clients and customers. That's what I see that we need to lean in. I think we need to lean into all of our tech tools to be able to re-educate people on why the word diversity is still important, because it's diversity in thought, right? My team of women, brilliant women that I have at the agency, they all have very different thoughts and opinions, and I love it. And so we're not here to win each other over. We're just really here to provide a perspective. And I think that's what we also need to look at, is that it's perspective. Like, there's no one way anymore. I think we all have to have an omni approach. And we've said that as an agency also, you have to have an omni approach. And when I say omni approach, I mean, like, you need to have a customer-centric marketing approach. So that's, you should have a phone number. You should have a phone number that people can call. You should have an email. You should have some form that responds to the DMs, right? You should have a Google page. A lot of people, run to social, because a lot of people run to our top Facebook, but Google still is the number one search engine in the world. And when people are driving and moving, Google is typically, we certainly have Siri and the Apple users, so I don't want to discount them, but we also know that Google is still the number one search engine, and so is YouTube. So I think we've got to get clear about that. So as business owners, as women owners, like, you should build you a Google page that literally allows for people to give you feedback. It's okay. Like, we're all not doing everything all the way right. And maybe it's not right, but I think we should all think about being just, right? Making sure that there is justice in what we do. So I think that's important, because we can be wrong in some regards. I know in some regards I am. And so I think as women owned, and this is that really making sure that when we're having discussions, that really is about justice and economic justice and economic inclusion and all those things. I think that is where we get to serve as women-owned business owners and entrepreneurs, and being more of a thought leader. A thought leader says that you've positioned yourself to be a thought leader in a particular area. We're a thought leader in this place of purpose-driven work. That's what we do. So as thought leaders, we're going to lean into it. And when I say mission and when I say purpose-driven, we're always going to lead with purpose-driven, leading with women. That is who we are. So thought leadership means not that we know everything about women, but from women generationally segments, that's what we do. And we stand on that. So I think being able to build niche marketing is also something that women need to do. Like, don't be everything to everybody. Like, oh, I do this and I do it for all people. No, you should have a niche. A niche doesn't necessarily have to be based on race. It could be based on who you want to attract or a segment that is marginalized that you want to address. I think that's how we can not only push the envelope, but I think this is how we build allies along the way, because if we stand as a thought leader, we have people and organizations that will come behind us and support that. And I think that's important. The other thing I think as D&I is that I think it's important as women-owned businesses is to get on boards. I am grateful that I am on a board officially called Digs with Dignity. And I serve on that board. It's out of Chicago. And so what we provide is families that are, impacted by homelessness, and they're, getting back on their feet and getting into their apartment. So we go in and furnish their home and make it home for them. And I love the work because it is so amazing that can happen to any one of us, right? That you could be right now, it's people being laid off and figuring out how they're going to live and their family is going to live. And so your home is your sanctuary, whether you work out of it or, you have dinner and have discussion and relax and rest, whatever it is, it's important. So Digs with Dignity is, I'm really happy to be on the board. True story. The founder and executive director of the organization was my intern. So once again, she started with me as a woman, and she's a woman, and evolved, and I stayed in contact with her, and now I'm on the board. That's what, to me, I think that's what women have the ability to do. And so I think that's important. And so the idea of that level of mentorship is so important in the next generation. I hear a lot of times, girl, the next generation, they don't know. And I think we need to change that narrative. Like, we need to include them in the conversation. What do you think? How would you respond? And really lean into that, because I think it could be, we can be mentors and we can be mentored. So I think that's important for us to look at as I look at that. And so I also want to tell you who really inspires me and who mentor me and who influences me. Because you got to believe that being able to have a business and be an entrepreneur for 25 years. Yep, 25. I cannot believe it. April 1st makes 25 years that I have been in this, entrepreneurial journey, and still got a lot more to go. And I love the word journey because I haven't finished. I'm still on this journey. There are so many women that I look up to. I'm going to go celebrities, and then I'm going to go kind of local. One of them is Kerry Washington. I love Kerry because I truly believe that she picks the roles that define the kind of impact that she wants people to look at. Like, she doesn't just take on any role. From what I can see, she really decides in her heart, this is something that people need to hear. And I'm going to use my artistic ability to be able to have conversations and discussions about it. Even when she did Scandal, people had Scandal parties, people talked about it, people tweet about it. It was a thing. And I think she is a culture changer. And I appreciate that because that's where she and I are aligned in that regard. And so I love and respect her. My other celebrity type is, I'm going to say all of it, WNBA. I respect the WNBA. I remember years ago, before people were looking at the WNBA, probably 7 or 8 years, I was really courting them to consider our agency to do work. I mean, they didn't because they were oh, we don't have it in the budget. We hear that a lot. But just to see them today and the evolution that they stayed on course, they didn't allow for, the media and the naysayers and the trolls who were the WNBA isn't going to make it. They're not going to get advertisers. I heard the rhetoric, I heard it, and the propaganda, and look at them. when you watch Sports Channel now, you know, we have representation of women who are WNBA players. We just saw it in the All-Star game. So that's a big thing for me. And they are very influential in my life, because as someone who has an agency that is, you know, predominantly women, it just sends a message. And so I identify very much with the WNBA. And so they've influenced me in my journey as an entrepreneur. So that's my celebrity. And I think I have one more that that I absolutely love. And it's probably going to surprise, you know, some of you all, because I probably don't talk a little bit about this, but the reason why I'm always advocating for the underdog, like I'm not I always go for the underdogs, and nothing's wrong with the underdog, because I think I'm an underdog. Like I'm under the radar too. And I think under the radar people are not always, received at the same level as those that are kind of out, and, you know, and I don't know, I want to say out, but the one person that I absolutely am respecting, is Tamara Hall and Jennifer, from Chicago. Hudson. Thank you. Jennifer Hudson. I had a brain freeze. And let me tell you why, is because, you know, anytime you put on a daytime show, it's so hard, because most of the people that listen to daytime, if anybody, you know, knows about, you know, ratings and stuff, is that a lot of it is rural, right? It's rural America. And so the fact that two Black women are leading in that, I think it's really dope. One from Chicago, and Tamara spent a lot of time in Chicago. And these are two Chicago, like, powerhouses. And I love it. I love to see it. I love to see their evolution as women. And, you know, I love that Jennifer Hudson, you know, her interest is so different in bringing like music and dance to it, because that's who she is as a musician and an artist. Like, I love it. I love it. And I'm here for it. And so hopefully someday I'll be on both of their shows. I'm putting it out there. And Tamara, I've just always loved her. And again, the way that she stood her ground as as an anchor when she was anchoring in Chicago, and now having her own show, I think it's quite impressive and also just inspiring. And so they both inspire me. Go Jennifer, go Tamara. I love you both. I think you guys, the folks that I share that inspire me, is so important. And I think that the thing about Jennifer Hudson that I love is that she's still connected to Chicago. A lot of times when people go off and do their things in New York and LA, sometimes they forget about, you know, Chicago. And I struggle with that, because I wonder, I had this conversation recently with my fiance, and I was saying, like, why don't we have a lot of our Chicago artists, owning restaurants, owning stores where people can come in? And I think it's because, in all fairness, Chicago may not be supporting them like that, right? So I think that that could be it. I don't know, but, you go to different places, Atlanta, California, LA, a lot of your top artists, have some influence in the industry, whether it's restaurants or just in that space of business. And I would like to see it. The other person that I want to say inspires me is Issa Rae. I love her. I forgot her. I absolutely adore her. Because I loved how she once again maintained her position. She didn't get moved by, I should be this as this, brown girl who's a content creator, and, pushing out the shows that she's pushed out. I just love it. And I love her range. Like, she has dope range, and I love and respect, and I'm inspired by her. And so when I look at all of these women, I'm inspired by all of them because I think when I look at them, they all have a little bit of me and I have a little bit of them. I just think naturally, like, that's it. So that's my kind of celebrity, right? My local, I guess, mentors that I have, that I'm grateful for. And she's like my mentor, my friend, my mama, my auntie, my all those things. And I think you can have all that in that. Angila Faison, really dear friend of mine. She was my first boss and she was at my event yesterday. She's responsible for getting our guests and she's just such a ray of life in my life and I love her. So shout out to Angila Faison. We've known each other for practically most of my career. So like almost 30 years and we've maintained this allyship, friendship, mentorship, supportship, all of it. She's lost her mother and I've been there. I've lost my mother and she was there. Like, it's a really nice, it's nice. And I'm inspired by her every day. She didn't have kids and I don't have kids. And so together, but she considers me like a kid for her. Like, she's like, if I was to have a daughter, it would be like, man, that's really sweet. And so I'm grateful to her and she's dope. She's really helped me to be this very polished PR professional in this industry. And I'm very grateful, to her. I also want to give a shout out to another young lady. Her name is Abigail. And it's funny because the reason why I love Abigail Ingram, she is at Posky, is because I met her when I was in a cohort at DePaul University. It was DePaul and YWCA. And she challenged me to always look at the numbers. Like, Larvetta, is that worth it? Are you making money? And I get caught in that. That's like an ism for me. Like, I'll get caught in the fluff. And so she's been my ally and my supporter in making sure that I am, and I'm inspired by her. So she's having a baby and I'm excited that this next realm of life for her as this, female leader now with this daughter, I'm excited for her. So shout out to Abigail. She is super amazing. And I'm grateful to her as part of my, level of mentorship in this place. So these are women. I'm only dealing with the women. I have some men mentors too, but these are my women that really, champion me. I'm also going to shout out Cecilia. Cecilia is actually, she's been on the show, and she's been on the show with her company. And this is what's crazy. The crazy part about Cecilia is, Cecilia Harrison, her company is, Revenue Cycle. And we met in that same cohort with Abigail, but she's always finding like, Larvetta, I think L3 should work here. Like, she's always thinking about us and figuring out ways that we can have clients. Like, these are my allies. And again, we can have these real authentic conversations. She's so, like, she's got 3 kids. She's a single mom, but she is like super, super dope. And I love her. And I'm grateful to her for just being part of my sister circle. And we can just be real and honest with each other about business. And she's always bringing our name at the table. Like, Larvetta, I think you can go after that. I think that's for you. And so I'm grateful for that. And I know that there are others that send us business. I also want to shout out Suzanne Griffin. We don't talk a lot, but I love her. And she doesn't, and I'm looking up because I want to make sure that I'm also shouting out there, her company. We've partnered Vega Impact Group. What's interesting about all of these women is that they don't have a problem with partnering. So there's opportunities where they might see some, could we partner? Can we work together? How can we do this? Like, it doesn't come across any way of competition. At least for me, it doesn't. And so Suzanne, with Vega Impact Group, we've partnered together on some business and did some really great work, but she's super brilliant. Like, she's super brilliant. And I learned a lot from her. And I'm grateful to her for it. And shout out to Suzanne. I love you, girl. I love all of you all. Abigail, Cecilia, Suzanne. Who else did I say? I know so many. And I will say that there is another one, Kim Rudd of Rudd Resources. She runs a communications and PR firm in Chicago. What I love about Kim Rudd, she's also my sorority sister. Like, she sees an opportunity, Larvetta, go after it. Like, she and her husband, David Rudd, I love them. And they inspire me. They had their anniversary party. I can't remember what number it was last year. And I went, she too is such a connector. She's such a person that wants to unite. She's a sister that I am inspired by. They do some incredible work, you guys. And, her firm is just dope. And so whenever I'm in spaces and they're like, oh, we go to Rudd, I'm like, okay, and there's no competition. She's even given me feedback that I need to get on top of it. Like, Larvetta, you need to get certified in this disadvantaged space. So I'm working on that. So that's my next second quarter, is to get us certified. But she held me accountable. Like, you need to do that. Like, you need to get on top of it. And then some of my sorors, they reminded me, like, it's, you got to get certified in that space. So while we are certified as a minority supplier, there's some other certifications that we need to go after. So I'm excited about that. So I've given all them shout outs. Obviously, if you know them, you probably have the same sentiment that I have. There are probably more, but those are some of them that I am inspired whenever they pop on my feed. Thank you, Dalvin. When they pop on my feed, I'm always looking at them, championing them, and sharing. So one of the things that we have to do better as women, I take some water, you all. I'm doing this monologue. It's just me. Is share your friend's post. Share. Like, I feel like we see these things, we see it, but share with somebody that may find that information valuable. Stop looking at yourself, because I think it is. It's you just thinking about yourself and not thinking about there's somebody in your network that can use that information or that insight or, whatever that is, that joke, whatever it is. Be intentional with sharing your sister. So this month, I'm challenging you all. If your sister shares something that they're working on or they're passionate about or they're struggling, share it. Share it with one person. I don't care. Just share it. Can you all do that for me for Women's History Month? It would mean a lot if you can do that. And so as I close, as you all know, we launched BBM Mag, which is our feature mag. I'm excited about it. And let me say this. When I picked it up the day that the printer did a sample, I cried. I cried because it looks absolutely beautiful. It's rich in color and it just culminates. Like, when you see something that you had a vision and it comes to life, it's so beautiful. The cover is beautiful. And let me say this, my team, I didn't do this. So when you open up, you look at the design team and all those that played a role in making this possible. And they were all women. So that was dope. And so I'm excited. If you want to get a copy, you can go to our website at thel3agency.com and you can download it. Just download it. It can be in your inbox. Now, if you want a physical copy, you've got to come to our BBM Lives to get that. I don't know yet when we're going to get it where you can buy it. But right now, you got to come to our BBM Lives. And that's where we have live events, live podcast taping, and you get a copy of it there. So that's the best I can tell you. But right now you can download it and share it with friends. It's really gorgeous. We've got some articles in there about us. That we share is blogs that we have. And then the businesses that have been featured on the podcast, we share their stories and their beautiful faces so that you have a destination to learn about outstanding Black businesses and outstanding people of color businesses that you may want to support, or you may want to recommend, that you may want to advocate for. And so that's what's cool about it. And so we have a piece, and I love, we had this, we got this with Let's Make Black History, our American history. And so it's all women, like it's our whole team. And so that is huge. And so, you know, guys, that's what we're doing. And so I'm kicking off this thing called, you know, bringing your family together, bringing your sisters together, bringing your sorority sisters together, bringing all the women that you love together, and listen to a podcast, listen to an episode of BBM, and talk about it and share. As I said, share, and we will shout you out. Like, that's what we want to do. So we have this, you know, you can text us. And so with our number 312-300-1300, if you host a gathering at your house, you have to text hosting. Some people forget that. Hosting. You got to put that in the text, HOSTING, at 312-300-1300, and say that you hosted something. Maybe it was like a book club, and then you had a podcast, you know, that you shared one of our episodes with your book club meeting. We want to see this happen. I think it's important to be able to have a platform where you can be seen and valued and be inspired. And so, because I'm inspired by women, and let me just say this month, you guys are in for a treat. We got some dope women that's coming on. We have an artist that was, you know, worked in marketing, and she's evolved, you know, as an artist in Chicago, and her work is all over the world at this point, because she's been across the world, but you can get her stuff locally. We got an estate attorney coming on to talk about how do we build on planning for, you know, planning for our legacy, to be able to carry on some of those things and carry on some of the errors that you may have. And so I'm excited. And these are dope women, y'all. Like, we probably made history this year that we have so many women-owned businesses featuring this month. So I'm going to tell you, keep your dial on Black Businesses Matter. Download your episodes, get your reminder, share it with a friend, text us, do all the things this month. Make us feel like this is inspiring for you the same way it's inspiring for me. Someone asked me what brings me joy. What brings me joy is when I get to hear these stories, and I get to hear how we're winning, my tribe is winning, or someone is operating in their purpose. I love that. And I also love when people get to tell us that they heard an episode and it inspired them to do something great. Remember, Black Businesses Matter is here because we're the largest employer. We are the largest employer of Black people. So know that when you support us, that you're helping to employ other Black and brown individuals, entrepreneurs, employees, et cetera. So remember that when you're thinking about, you know, just hiring, just know that when you have that kind of business that is diverse, it's going to bring a level of thought leadership that you may not have had in the past. Okay. Keep an open perspective, be open, be flexible, be all the things, but most importantly, be purpose driven. Thank you guys for listening to me on another episode of Black Businesses Matter. Have a good one, and happy Women's History Month.
The Black Businesses Matter podcast is produced by the L3 Agency, a culturally sensitive influencer, marketing, and communications firm in Chicago, where relationships are our currency, passion is our profit maker, and people are our bottom line. Follow us on Instagram at Black Businesses Matter.